the other three antibodies actually work very similarly to aducanumab. They are monoclonal antibodies. They get into the brain at low concentration. They each have a little bit different molecular composition, but they bind to the plaques. They help break them up. And so they all could, and at least three of the four of them have had some positive clinical data. So that's encouraging. Donanemab, the phase 2 study was very similar. It was similar in a lot of ways to the aducanumab trial and had some innovations as well. It focused on people with early Alzheimer's disease, with mild cognitive impairment, mild dementia. An innovation there is that they use tau PET as well as amyloid PET. So people had to be building up plaques, but they had a restricted range of tau buildup, more in the moderate range, not too low and not too high. And the thinking was this population is, this stage of Alzheimer's is most likely to respond, or maybe most likely to respond to amyloid lowering therapy. And so using that strategy, they had good, results in their phase 2, and it's a relatively small study that did meet the clinical endpoints of a modest slowing of progression of memory loss and daily functioning. So that's encouraging. The other innovation they did was, unlike aducanumab, which continued treatment no matter what the amyloid PET scan showed during ongoing treatment. Once someone got below a certain level of amyloid buildup in the TRAILBLAZER study, the medicine was discontinued. So, and they're starting to collect data about what the impact of doing that is. And that's important because we don't know how long you need to treat. And my gut feeling is we'll probably be able to do an induction phase where we lower the amyloid protein, so hopefully substantially, and then maybe and that's going to be regular treatment, like I say, monthly. And then maybe we could go to a maintenance phase where we don't need the medicine that often, every 3 months, every 6 months, depending on the buildup. And so that would be less burdensome and less expensive as a, ongoing treatment. Right now, we don't have that information for aducanumab, so the design is more open, discontinued treatment. So I think those two innovations are good in giving us new information about how these medicines might be managed in clinical practice.